This is the S to Z list of ancient Persian gods, heroes, and creatures. Saena, Simurgh, the great falcon who sits in the top branches of the tree of all seeds. When she flaps her wings, the seeds are scattered and carried away by the winds, with the help of the bird Umm-Naush, to land in the earth. Associated with the great dog bird Simurgh, although some scholars claim they are two distinct entities. Saena tree, tree of all remedies, tree of all seeds, the great tree and mother of all trees, mother of all plants, which grows in the middle of the Vourukasha sea and sends the seeds of all vegetation out into the world when the Saena bird, who lives in its branches, flaps its wings. Sagdid, glance of the dog, the ritual in which a dog is led into the presence of the corpse of the newly deceased to drive away evil spirits, especially Umm-Naush, who will corrupt the dead body and make it unclean. The dog is led in 3 times but, if it hesitates, can be led in as many as 9 times to make sure all evil spirits have been dispersed. Sam, great king and father of the hero Zal, who abandons him in the Alborz mountains because he considers his fair hair a bad omen. Zal is raised by the dog bird Simurgh and is later reconciled with his father. Sam is the grandfather of the great champion Rustam. Satevis, one of the 4 royal stars, modern designation Antares, who worked for the good on the part of Ahura Mazda. Governed the autumnal equinox, known as Watcher of the West. Saurva, demon of chaos and one of the central divas, archenemy of the Shah Spenta Kshatriya, protector of the desirable dominion of paradise. Shahbaz, a giant bird, larger than any other, who watches over and encourages humanity, thought to be the imperial eagle representing royalty under the reign of Cyrus the Great. Shabrang Behzad, the mighty black horse of the hero Siyavash. Shahrazad, Shahrazada, heroine of the 1000 Nights and a Night who is married to the king Shahriyar. Shahriyar adopts a policy of marrying a virgin, spending a night with her, and executing her the next morning. Shahrazad preserves her life by telling the king a story their first night together but not finishing it. Shahriyar allows her to live so he can hear the ending. She continues this pattern for 1001 nights and so saves herself. Shahriyar, the king in the 1000 Nights and a Night who, upon finding out his wife was unfaithful, has her executed and then marries only virginal women, killing them the morning after the wedding night, before they have a chance to betray him. When he marries Shahrazad, she preserves her life by telling him a story the night of their wedding but not finishing it. To hear the conclusion, he lets her live, and so she continues telling her stories in the same way and escapes execution. Simurgh, the dog bird, who cares for the hero Zal after he is abandoned by his father Sam in the Shahnameh. Simurgh had the head of a dog, body of a peacock, and claws of a lion and lived 1,700 years, acquiring all knowledge, before dying in a flame of its own making and rising again. According to some interpretations, she is the later version of Saena, according to others, a distinct entity. Siyavash, hero of the Shahnameh symbolizing virtue, innocence, integrity, and courage. Siyavash was the son of the king Kavis and his favorite concubine who falsely accused the hero of raping her when he would not submit to her attempt at seduction. To prove his innocence, he rode his great horse Shabrang through a towering fire and emerged unscathed. Afterwards, he voluntarily exiled himself to the land of Turan where he was killed by the king of Phrygia. His son, the great Khosrow, later avenged him. Sohrab, the tragic hero and son of Rostam and the princess Tahmineh in the Shahnameh. Sohrab is born while Rostam is away at war and, when he is grown and has become a great warrior, goes to find him. Rostam and Sohrab meet in battle, neither knowing the other's identity, and Sohrab is killed. Spenta Mainyu, Holy Spirit, one of the 7 Shah Spentas, the embodiment of the light and goodness of Ahura Mazda. In some passages, he is the twin brother of Mainyu. Sraosa, Sarush, angel of the Chinvat bridge who guides and protects souls of the newly deceased as they cross toward final judgment by Rashnu. Sraosa works with the holy maiden Dina and, like her, reflects the conscience of the soul after death. Srisak, the celestial bull known earlier as Hedhayans who brought the 3 sacred ritual great fires, kindled by Ahura Mazda, to earth. He was also known as Thrisok, meaning 3 burning places, as deliverer of the fires which stood against the forces of darkness and chaos. Tahmineh, mother of the hero Sohrab in the Shahnameh. She spends a night with Rostam, who gives her an armband to give their child. Sohrab grows up to become a great warrior and is given the armband so he can prove to Rostam he is his son when they meet, but, when this happens, they are fighting on opposite sides and Rostam kills Sohrab before the armband is shown. Tascheter, one of the 4 royal stars, modern designation Aldebaran, who worked for the good forces of Ahura Mazda. Guardian of the vernal equinox. Known as the Watcher of the East. Tawrich, demon of hunger, want, and need. Archenemy of the Shah Spenta Horvatat, goddess of wholeness. Tiri, god of agriculture associated closely with Tishtrya and sometimes given as his twin, poorly attested and possibly the same deity in an earlier form. Tishtrya, god of rain and the harvest, sometimes given a twin, Tiri, god of agriculture. Tishtrya is represented as a white horse with golden ears, ornamented with gold trim, who battles the demons Apoosha, drought, and Duzyaria, bad harvest, rising from the Vourukasha sea, the source of all waters, to fly across the sky or dive into the waters to defeat his enemies. Tistar, god of rain, possibly another form of Tishtrya but most likely a separate deity. Tistar came to earth 3 times bringing rain in such quantity it flooded the earth. He is, like Tishtrya, depicted as a white horse battling the demon Apoosha, shown as a black horse. His second flood creates the Vourukasha sea, source of all waters. Tushnamatay, goddess of thought and meditation. Umm-Naush, nocturnal demonic predators who threatened human lives and cosmic order. The Umm-Naush were a subset of the evil spirits known as Krofstra. The most feared among them were the Hau, who preyed on newborns and their mothers. Vayu-Vatu, Vata, god of the wind who lived between worlds, in the interface between the good of Ahura Mazda and the evil of Mainyu, and so could be a powerful force for either side. Venant, one of the 4 royal stars, modern designation Regulus, who worked for the good under Ahura Mazda. Guardian of the summer solstice. Known as the Watcher of the North. Verethragna, warrior god whose sole responsibility is to fight against evil. He is associated with Simurgh, the dog bird, whose feathers could be used to invoke her in times of need. He was considered the greatest protection against evil. Vizaresha, demon who drags souls into hell from the Chinvat bridge, associated with the demons Vayu-Vatu and Esma. Also associated with the demon Nasu who contaminates dead bodies, flying from the north, location of hell, when it hears someone has died. Vohu Manah, good purpose, one of the 7 Shah Spentas, represented on earth by domesticated animals, especially the cow. Vohu Manah encourages people to do the right thing under any circumstance. He is best known as the spirit of light who delivered the revelation of divine truth to Zoroaster on the banks of a river. Vourukasha, a water god who is the keeper and protector of the waters of the Vourukasha sea, the source of all waters, and is the embodiment of that sea. He is the father of Umm-Naush, the god who provides these waters to humanity. Vourukasha sea, the primordial sea from which all other waters flow on earth. The waters are said to come from the Alborz mountains through ice melt and collect in the Vourukasha sea and, from there, flow outwards to form all the other bodies of water in the world. The god Vourukasha watches over, and embodies, the sea, and his son, Umm-Naush, is responsible for dispersing the waters around the world. Yazadas, beneficial spirits worthy of worship. The Shah Spentas are Yazadas, as are angels and a number of other deities. Yama, the first mortal king to have ruled. He was favored by the gods and given supernatural powers. When the population grew too large, he enlarged the world and also saved the world when the gods informed him a bitter winter was coming, and he enclosed animals, vegetation, and seeds in a giant barn, a tale preceding the biblical narrative of Noah and his ark, to preserve life. He fell from divine grace when he began to think more highly of himself than he should have. Even so, for his virtuous service, he was made Lord of the Dead, and the afterlife was initially known as Yima's realm. Zohak, the embodiment of the evil Ajidahaka. Sahak was a prince who was corrupted by the lies of Mainyu, killed his father, and took the throne. He then overthrew the king Jamshid and established a tyranny over the world which lasted 1,000 years. He was overthrown by the hero Feridun, who restored order and justice. Zal, albino, the white-haired hero born to the king Sam and father of the champion Rostam. His white hair was taken as an ill omen, and he was left abandoned on the slopes of the Alborz mountain. He was adopted by Simurgh, the dog bird, and raised as one of her own children, acquiring great strength and wisdom. Eventually, tales of a great hero of the mountains reached Sam, who went to seek out his son, and they were reconciled. Simurgh gave Zal 3 of her feathers to call upon her if he should ever need help. He took her up on this offer when his wife, Rudaba, was in labor, and, by Simurgh's aid and instruction, the great hero Rostam was born. Zam, the earth, home of the mortals, which should be cared for as one cares for one's own house. The deified understanding of the earth. Zamarmati, Mother Nature, the goddess of deified earth, the earth energy which makes all things live and grow. Zarek, the demon of aging and decrepitude. Zorvan, Zervan, the god of time. A minor god originally, who later became the supreme deity as lord of the universe embodying time. In the religious movement of Zorvanism, he became the father of Ahura Mazda and Mainyu, twin brothers, and time became the supreme power in the universe against which nothing could stand.